electric pressure cooker beef, mushroom, potato, carrot, and lentil stew recipe.
Welcome, fellow cook-hating fellows. We are going to need potatoes, garlic, carrots, mushrooms for the vegetation base. You're also going to need rosemary, thyme, parsley, and Dijon mustard, cider vinegar, onion, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, chicken broth, and lentils and ground beef. You can use red lentils, green lentils, brown lentils. It doesn't matter. I just happen to have red lentils, so that's what I used. And I'm going to give a full disclosure here that I used my pressure cooker thinking this would be a lot faster. Newsflash, it was not faster. In fact, this took me close to an hour, and by the end of the chopping of all the vegetation, I was fed up and over it, and I just wanted this to be over so that I could eat. So, full disclosure, it might take a very long time unless you have one of those chopper machine thingies that make your life easier, but anytime I've bought one, it just never ended up working for me. So here we are, crying at the end of making dinner because it's taking too freaking long for a freaking stew. But anyway, you're gonna saute your onion, then you're gonna add your garlic, then you're gonna add your beef. Another point of order here: the recipe only calls for the vegetables and the lentils. It does not call for beef. I added that because I needed to increase my protein intake. So if you want to do this vegetarian, you can. It's just 12 grams of protein instead of 25 grams of protein with just the lentils. And then you're going to add salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. And I added onion powder and garlic powder because I added the beef and the Italian seasoning. Otherwise, the recipe does not call for that. I mean, you can still add it. You can be a rebel. Oh, I also added ginger. This smelled so lovely as it was cooking. 10 out of 10, recommend adding it. Then I continued chopping my vegetables. The potatoes, I did kind of smaller because I knew I wanted to only cook this for as little time as possible so that I could be done with this torture. So you can cut them however which way you want. That's just what I did. Then I continued aggressively attacking my beef so that it would cook faster. I added the garlic, added the salt, added my mushrooms, and then I usually don't peel my carrots because I like the skin and it gives you extra fiber. But this time I was like, might as well do it. I'm already in this and I've been chopping for a half an hour. Might as well just peel these stupid carrots. So that's what I did. And as you can see here, I had given up. At that point, I was just cutting however I wanted. So then I added my potatoes, my carrots. I mixed it all up. And then I had to chop my rosemary, thyme, and parsley. And sometime around the time that I was chopping the thyme and I had mixed everything together with the rosemary, I actually decided to read the recipe and realized, oh, wait, I can't mix the rosemary and the thyme. This has to be put together separately. So keep them separated a little bit. And you'll see kind of at the end of this that I somehow managed to separate them. So then you're going to add the rosemary, only the rosemary, to your mixture. And after you do that, you're going to let it kind of sit for a few more minutes, maybe 1 minute. And then you're going to add paprika. I added 2 tablespoons of that, and that also smelled divine. Cayenne pepper, I think it was 3/4 of a teaspoon. And pepper, and then 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and a whole carton of chicken broth. Don't ask me why the apple cider vinegar is needed. I was just following a recipe. I really don't know. Then I put it for 14 minutes of pressure cooking. And then when it was done, I decided I'm going to give myself a facial. So I was just standing there while it released pressure. Then you mix it, make sure your potatoes are cooked. Then the recipe calls for a teaspoon and a half of honey, and it's set to not leave it out. And it also called for Dijon mustard. I think it called for a teaspoon or a tablespoon, but what you see is the only thing I had in there. Then you add your parsley and your thyme, and then you mix it, let it sit for maybe a minute. And then I tasted it. It was good, but I did end up adding more salt and pepper. So, it's always better to add to it later than having it overly salty. I hope you guys like this and make it, even though it might take you an hour. Bye.